Some people are single because they choose to be, or due to some circumstances of their lives. Hi guys, K-Booster here! Do you wonder why some people are still single? Or maybe, why are you still single? Well, according to relationship experts, there are some reason behind it. According to Ann Pfister, you are still single because number 1, you choose to be. Your own choices define your future. You choose to be happy as a single person and you don't care if you can find a mate or not. Number 2, your standards are very high. If you're expecting someone to ride in on a white horse and sweep you off your feet, you're likely to still be single. Just because your boyfriend didn't quit his job on the spot and sprint home in the rain while crying out your name after a fight doesn't mean that he doesn't care for you. Expecting life to play out like a movie is a huge turn-off, and a rom-com mentality can be the cause. Setting realistic expectations in a relationship is not only healthy, but it's also absolutely necessary. You'll never get to the chapel if you're always finding fault in someone for not being a perfect movie version of a partner. Number 3, your heart has been broken. This is an also common theme among many singles. After being cheated on or abruptly dumped, sometimes it feels safer to close off your heart to more hurt. While this may be a solution in the short term, it could also leave you feeling lonely later in life. While being heartbroken hurts tremendously, trusting that there are better things in store for you is a much healthier outlook to take. After a rough breakup, it's always a good idea to take time to heal. But don't confuse setting healthy boundaries with an unhealthy excuses to isolate yourself from the world. Number 4, you have commitment phobia. A lot more men have this than women. There are a ton of reasons this phobia can take hold. Fear of making the wrong choice and being forever connected to a partner that you are unhappy with can make settling down nearly impossible. Looking for the next best thing is more of a priority than building strong bonds with their current partner. If opening up to a person is less desirable than chewing on glass, then growing in a relationship is going to be very difficult. Communication is key in a healthy relationship, and if one partner is unable or unwilling to communicate, troubles will start to arise. You can have a relationship that based purely on the physical. You need to have that mental bond as well, or else it's not going to last. Number 5, you keep choosing the wrong partners. This happens all the time. People fall for someone who is just like their ex, or nothing like their ex. For the most part, people play out roles in relationships, and those roles are where they are most comfortable. If you keep finding yourself with partners who are really needy, you might be seeking out those types to fulfill a caregiver or fixer role that you want to play. Taking a closer look at patterns in the past relationships can be very helpful for those who fall into this category. Another factor is your family of origin. If you grew up in an abusive household, you'll be more likely to find yourself in an abusive relationship. Gaining perspective on what's running your show can help you to make better relationship choices in the future. And for our second expert, Dr. Cassandra Henriquez, the reason why you are still single is because you keep comparing the next to your ex. The problem is that you don't want to be taken advantage of. And because of this view, looking through what I call a tainted love lens, you choose to consistently compare your date to your ex. And when you see a slight sign of similarity, you run. What if there was another way to look at love? Through a new love lens, viewing every situation as brand new, allowing your date to be themselves and you accept them as such. Enjoying the dating process versus looking at it as a vetting or interview process. However, according to our third expert, Gina Handley-Schmidt, you have negative internalized messages about intimacy. That's why you are still single. These messages usually fall into one of two categories. Either the single person believes that they are unworthy of intimacy, believing that they are not pretty enough, not smart enough, just not enough, or they believe that other people are incapable of providing the intimacy they deserve and desire, believing that people are inevitably going to disappoint them, reject them, or leave them. And for our expert, Kiandra Jackson, you are still single because you want to be single. Not every single person on the planet is desperate for a relationship. Some individuals understand the power of a season of singleness. This is a time frame where you want to work on self and make sure you are whole, emotionally, financially, spiritually, and mentally, before bringing another person into your world. She also states that you feel that settling is not an option. Some may say that your standards are too high. However, I say that you understand your value and your worth. You understand that it's better to be single than to compromise and settle just because people think you should be in a relationship. Don't allow social pressures, your biological clock, or your age to force you into something that is below your standard. And for the expert, Adina Mahali, you are still single because you have issues in modern dating. Dating in the modern era has become a very impersonal and objectifying. While swiping through a dating app like Tinder, you aren't looking at the pictures like they are people. You are looking at them like a commodity, not a healthy way to start a relationship. You judge someone off of one photo, and then if you match with them, you are dependent on your messaging skills to close on a date, not an easy feat to accomplish. So, you go to a bar to try and meet someone. Also, not a healthy way to start a relationship. Being half inebriated and just looking for someone to sleep with, there are not many successful relationships that have started from a bar. In short, you may be looking in the wrong places. And for Christine Scott Hudson, one of the experts, you don't really want to be in a relationship. Maybe you feel safer on your own. Maybe you grew up in a home where you learned to be self-reliant, where you had to count on yourself. And now, this is how you move through the world. Intimacy is something we learn how to do through our primary caregivers. And for the expert, Lori Salkin, you just have not met the right person yet. When people ask about whether or not they should change how they present themselves on dates, what impression they give off, and if they should tone down their personalities, be more outgoing, dress differently, and etc. The truth is, while first impressions are extremely important, the person you marry is going actually love and value and appreciate everything about you, the good and the bad. And for our expert, Isabella Beham, you are still single because you lack accountability for your own life. It is the number one reason why people are still single. If you're still single and ready not to be, it's time to do the work on yourself to be the right person for yourself and to be the better person in the relationship. Stop searching externally and begin the process of looking inward. Redirect all of the energy you are using, swiping and chasing people, back into your self-development, and it guarantees the right person will show up for you. And lastly, our expert, Anahid Lisa Derbabian. You're still single because you have sought a soulmate with whom you will deeply connect on many levels. You seek to be understood for who you are and to connect emotionally, physically, and even spiritually with another human being. You realize that you can just find someone, anyone, with whom to exist. Yet, you want the real deal, the right feeling, and you believe it is possible. Did you realize something on this video? If you have comment and suggestion, please do so. Till next time, thank you!